unlock their true potential. She is a student of KLE Institute of Management of Studies and Mansa Institute of Mental Health and Science, Bangalore. She is a certified in rational emotive behavior therapy, that is REBT, by Dr. Debbie Joffe Ellis, eminent psychologist and author of United States of America. She is a certified in cognitive behavior therapy, CBT, by NIHANS. She is a certified master NLP practitioner by Ram Verma, India, certified by Mansa Educational Foundation for Mental Health and Cognitive Behavior Therapy. She does student counseling, career counseling, counseling at the workplaces, etc. She is certified in cognitive hypnotherapy by Indian Association of Clinical and Academic Hypnosis. She is having 10 plus more years of experience in corporates like MetLife India, First Leasing Company of India, Prince Multiplast, and many other educational institutions in India. She is having 12 plus years of experience in the field of counseling and psychotherapy. She is having a psychotherapy clinic, Health in Your Mind, at Bangalore, through which she reaches out to all the schools, colleges, corporates, individual sessions, workshops, and many other seminars. I am not going to come between you and Medha Tonapi. Over to you, Medha Tonapi. I request you to start this very important session on building a positive attitude towards studies. Over to you, Medha.
Thank you very much, Swar sir, for such a wonderful introduction. It is my pleasure to meet so many students today. Consider me one among you all because I keep learning quite a lot. I am a student even today, and I must say there's a lot to learn from each one of you all too. So friends, let's begin today with this question of, how to build a positive attitude towards studies. Now, even before going to the question as to how to build, let's start and, just interpret it. Why should we do this? Isn't it? Doesn't this question come to your mind, friends? So first of all, I would like all of you all to welcome to this world of positivity and happiness. Okay, from here, let's begin this journey of how to be more productive in what all we are doing. Let's begin this with a point of happiness and a lot of positivity. I hope you can just have a look at the logo of my institute called as Health in Your Mind. It shows a smiley that smiles. Can I just see some good smiles like that? Yeah, let's begin with a beautiful smile. Now let's go at a very macro level initially, where we can see a map. Are you all able to see the map? Somebody just say yes. Unmute yourself and say yes or a thumbs up.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Once we have a look at this map, just have a look at this map, and the size of the countries over here are based on its population. If you just have a look at India and China and some other major countries over here, I've just put some figures as number of years in the boxes over there. What does it mean? That the average age of China is 38.4 years as of today, whereas the average age of Australia is 37.9. Japan is also around 38 years old, and you can see United States of America also is 38.1 years. And whereas we just look at our beautiful India, what does the figure show? 26 years. Can you imagine what does this actually mean? What does it mean in practical? Saying that it shows the demography of India, that more than 50% of Indians are below the age of 35 years. So we must say that we are young India. This is the true meaning of what young India means. Now, what does it mean in practice? Just purely looking at this demographic trends, it means that for the next 30 to 40 years, India should have a very nice and youthful, productive, and a highly dynamic working age group. Isn't it? Now, what does this mean to us? It means to us that when the rest of the world is aging, including China and Europe, we are supposed to become the workhorse of the world. But all of this will happen only if we get one key thing right. Yes, and that is education and skill development. For us, it is just not an education demography. It is an excellent opportunity for each one of us that we contribute towards our nation. Isn't it amazing? Now, once we know that the nation needs, that there are soldiers who are fighting for us at the borders, and what are we doing here? Yes, we are sitting here and building up our skills. The nation is working towards this. Even Goa has an IIT today. Later on, it might have an IIM too over here. It might have an AIMS also, and many more things over here. When the state is working so much for us, let's see what best we can contribute to our country. Now, as we have a look at the new age, how from since last year none of us are going out to schools and colleges. We are all stuck at home. We are not stuck at home. We are hooked onto the internet, and through all these modern apps and technologies, we are able to connect to different parts of the world and talk to people and connect to people, and there is a lot of transfer of excellence happening, isn't it, friends? Now, this new age children, all of us will have to go a massive change. You will have to learn certain new things. You might have to unlearn certain things. We have to pick up to adaptive learning fast. We have to get ready for smart learnings, and we have to tune ourselves, including our mind, our body, to all these new changes. Regular jobs may not be the future for us. You may have to be flexible to learn few new platforms, new markets, new ways of understanding the markets, and be ready to make use of all the reading that you have done all these years. And it is not the time to stress out, dear friends, but to build strengths. So let's invest time in upgrading ourselves. Now, are you ready to adopt this? This is the first question. Before how to start studying, we will answer a few questions like this. Saying that, now just an analysis. Friends, can you just unmute? Thank you. So now just on a scale of 1 to 5, just rate yourself. How much do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5? Are you ready to adapt to the new changing? What kind of clarity do you need? What are your likes? What are your hobbies? What are your passions? Once you love to understand all these things, you are going to be a specialist in all what you do. From just being an average student, be a super student and not just mere average student. Isn't this nice? So once we start getting a clarity, automatically our confidence will start building. Isn't this true, friends? So from here, let me understand what is the purpose of my life. What are my goals? What I aspire to be? I hear a lot of students, they say, I would like to become IAS, I would like to become IPS, I want to join the army, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to head an MNC, I want to start a new startup. These are the different things that I keep hearing. So once you're, clear with what you wish to do, once you have the clarity of what you wish to do, definitely you will gain confidence to move further. So friends, today, just let's list down what are our top priorities, or what are our top priorities of what I wish to do. Once I have a list like this, then definitely the fear, the hesitation of going further will all die off automatically. And that is how you start building in confidence. The first keynote of today's session is clarity. Gain confidence through clarity. Is that okay, dear friends? You can just type in the chat box saying hi or yes. Yeah, so once we are confident, now let's go further and try and understand many other things of a student life. Many a times I hear children saying that oh God, my parents wake me up early in the morning and they ask me to sit and study. I have no freedom in life. Oh God, my parents want me to attend this session and that class and guitar class and keyboard sessions. I have no freedom in life. Have you all ever felt like this? Have you all ever understood what is the perspective of freedom? Have you ever figured out what actually freedom means? Or what is the actual power of freedom? Let me tell you, let's see, once I met the train and the train says, oh God, I'm always in the clutches of this track. I also want to fly. I also want to go wherever I want. I have to go wherever these tracks take me. I have no freedom in life. Fine, okay. So once I gave the train, I became Bahubali that day. I became the Wonder Woman that day, and I gave this option to the train. Okay, go. You're free from the clutches of the train. Wherever you want to go, you go. Is that possible? A train can't even move an inch without its track. We know what the statement comes in the newspaper always, derailed. Yeah, so that is how, if the train is on the track along with its track, definitely it will reach its destination with full enthusiasm and zeal. Now, similarly, I find many of my friends are interested in driving bikes, that to fight fast bikes and all that. Now, a rider, what are the hurdles for a rider usually? In a city like Bangalore, the main hurdles are the signals. So fine, one day we decided let's remove all the signals and everybody just flock on the road and the biker also goes. What happens the next moment? We all know accidents cannot be avoided in such cases. So definitely these signals, they are not hurdles, but there are opportunities for us. So this is the way we try to understand what is our perspective of freedom. And definitely it is always said that discipline is the road to success. And all these things act like disciplinary actions that we need in our lives. So whenever you build up any disciplinary action for yourself, make sure you abide by that. And in the end, what do we achieve? Like freedom is nothing but freedom is the power of choice. Once you have achieved your success, suppose you wish to achieve full marks in any one of the subject, then you have a choice of what you want to do further. Right now, going further, like we've already have clarity of what to do. Now we already know the power of discipline and the power of freedom. Where does it take? Let's get on to the point and understanding how do I craft my study habits. Shall we go further, friends? You can just type hi so that I feel connected to all of you all. Now, before we start studying, okay, there's somebody who raised your hand. You can type, you can keep your questions at the end of the session so that we have a few time to answer your queries for sure. Okay, now once we start sitting for our studies, that means it is a transition from an old activity to a new activity. Okay, now how do I come and have a smooth transition from this old activity to the new activity matters a lot, because that is how your mind needs to change, make a shift from one activity to another activity, right? Now, like just keeping these things in your mind, saying like on a timeline, we have the past, present, and future. Suppose the past has been that you're watching a movie. The past moment has been that you're playing a game or you're out in the enjoying the rains. And then what is your present? Until and unless you have satisfaction, contentment, fulfillment, full of happiness that you've completed that task, and then you go to the present situation where you're going to begin your studies. Then the present will be, calm and pleasureful, happy, full of curiosity of what to do. And that is how it builds a future of hope and optimism. Now, if you now tell me, friends, in the present situation with these kind of feelings, if you begin your studies, definitely you will find good time to calm down, soothe down, and whatever you study will directly go and get saved in your memory. Are you sure about this, friends? Yeah? Are you clear about this? Did you understand about this? Now, once we know we have a smooth transition from one activity to another activity, let's go further and understand what are certain powerful tools, techniques, and strategies that we can make good use of how to make our study time more effective and more productive. Like I have made a toolbox and I have certain things in this toolbox, and just let's discuss the further things, saying that, these are certain few tools and techniques that I'm going to make use before I start my studies. Now we have understood why to study, and we've understood why should I get into all this. I've also understood what is my purpose, and I have had a smooth transition from one situation to another. Now let's get into a new thing of where we start our study process with gratitude. Now, here in India, we all have the habit of, waking up with gratitude and going back to sleep with gratitude, right? Similarly, even just before your study time, you could just express your gratitude to all the people who are helping you reach your goal, where you can express your gratitude to all the things, even your pens, your books, your gadgets, your laptops, your tabs, the internet, so many things that are all there to help you reach your goal. Just express your thankfulness, write a thank you note to people. Now just imagine, had this pandemic struck us 5 or 10 years before, was our technology ready to take up, was our internet ready? Were there any apps like this so that we get connected and the transfer of education keeps happening, your work keeps happening? So we are so grateful to all these new technologies, to the new fast internets. So let's express our gratitude. As and when, the more we express gratitude, the more positive we feel, the more better we feel, the more contented we feel, and the more calmer we feel. So that is how, let gratitude be the first thing that you do early in the morning, and also the first thing you do before you start your studies. Is that good, friends? Next thing I would like to say is declutter. Yeah, we all keep our house clean. There's no doubt on it. Our study table is clean. Our bedroom is clean. Our cupboard is clean. Nothing is messed up, right? Those are very good things to see, and very nice to for our visuals. But have you thought about decluttering your mind? We have a lot of inner voices within us, too many things jumbled up in our mind. Just before I sit for my studies, let me declutter my mind. A mind is like, like how you see a cupboard full of drawers. Each thing in your life has a drawer for it, and all the memories are stored in that drawer. That is how you can just visualize your mind for a moment. Once when I say declutter your mind, how do I do that? It's can I go and clean the drawers that are there? We cannot do it, right? So there are just 3 questions that you can answer to yourself, and you can segregate your thoughts in your mind. Is that possible? Yes, we can segregate our thoughts. We can design our thoughts, and we can put them in which column, whichever we wish to. Like just answer these 3 questions to yourself. First thing is, throughout the day, for today, what went well? Make a list of things that went well today. Make a note of this. This is a very important technique. You will not find this technique in any of the books. This is highly, powerful technique that makes good help, which really helps children understand their challenges. The first question is, what went well? Write 3 things that went well today. You could add on to the list, but a minimum of 3 things that went well today. Right? The second question you can answer according to you, what went wrong? There must be something which you didn't feel that went well. Write down 3 things that really didn't go well with you today. Make a list of these things and write down what went wrong. The third question that you can answer to yourself here is, what could have been improved? These answers are within yourself. You cannot find them on Google. You cannot find them in anybody else's books, or you cannot even copy anybody else's answers, because these are exclusively yours. These are exclusively yours. So just make a list of these 3 questions, which I just mentioned to you. As you can take it as WWW, what went well, what went wrong, and what could have been improved. Once you have these questions answered to yourself, then things are going to fall in itself automatically. Fine. The next technique, very powerful technique that I'm going to share with you all right now is, we call it as task versus time. Many a times we say that I'm going to study for the next 2 hours. You're giving yourself time. You're giving yourself certain time, and after 2 hours you say, I finished my study time. Let's make a shift. Instead, I shift to task. I'm going to complete this chapter today. I'm going to do this and this activity today. Just try to make a shift towards this. And this is where it's a tussle between task and time. And as you practice this frequently, very sure it is going to improve your productivity, your efficiency, and very sure you're going to finish even before time that you had set for yourself. So task versus time, this is a very powerful technique that really helps you. Anything that you take up to do for today, make sure you give yourself a task and just stick on to this task and not do anything else apart from this. Anything difficult till now? Aren't these techniques very feasible? But they are very powerful, and on practice, they are definitely going to help you reach all your goals that you have desired for yourself. These are techniques that are going to help you take you to your desired state, from wherever you are, your current state to desired state. For that elevation, these are the techniques that will really come handy. Fine. Now the fourth one, I say, take no actions to distractions. They say there are around 60,000 thoughts per day that come to your mind. How many? 60,000 thoughts. Can we take action on all those thoughts? Not possible. So among these thoughts, we have the power to accept the ones we want and reject the ones that we don't want. Who has this power? We ourselves. We are the king of ourselves. We have all these power. There are, like how you see on the beach, like how you see waves come and go, waves come and go. Similarly, there are around thoughts coming and going in our mind. So now if I say yes to the thought that is feasible for me, and that is something that supports my purpose, something that supports my perspective of freedom, something that supports my goal, then I am going to say yes to it. And if there is a thought that is not supporting to any of my goals, any of my purpose, then definitely I am going to reject that thought. Like for example, the moment you sit for studies and all of us have mobiles by now, we cannot say no to it. And there is a message pop up. My mind says, chalo message dekhte hain. Okay, my mind says, let me go and check out what the message is. But I'm on a mission of task versus time. I have to finish this task. So I will reject the thought of saying, the thought that comes to mind, chalo, let's go and check the message. And stick on to this. Friends, this you might find it a little difficult in the beginning, but on practice, definitely you're going to turn out to be the most efficient user of all these tools and techniques. So whenever I say there are any depleting thoughts, oh, I can't do this, say no to it. Give it a rejection, show it a rejection board. Definitely it will go away. And on practice, definitely it will totally go away. So I say, take no action on distractions. Distractions are usually attractive. Distractions are usually attractive. But let's say no to the ones that are not supporting me, to the ones those are not in line with my goals, not in line with what I want to do, not in line with my, decluttering of my mind, or task versus time, where it is not helping me at all. I am going to say no to such thoughts for sure. Learn to say no is a big technique that we have to learn for ourselves, and where we are going to say no to these distractive thoughts. Make sure you use social media only to upgrade your skills. Make sure you make use of all the things that are available, just to upgrade your skills. Once you're clear with what you want, then things will automatically start falling in its place, and you yourself will learn to say no to all the distractions that you're going through. I know the new age children have to face a lot of distractions, unlike what we had earlier in our childhood around 20-30 years before. And even if you go still 20-30 years, they did not have distractions, and that's how they used to study so much. You ask those people to come and study now with all these distractions, they will also find these things very challenging. But now for today, I have a strong mind which is much more stronger than all other distractions that are there around me. So can we say no to distractions? Can we say I take no action on distractive thoughts? Whenever you feel distractive, think of your goal. Automatically, those thoughts will go off. Whenever you feel you're getting depleting thoughts, think of your goal. Automatically, all these distractions will fade off. Okay, friends. So for the very easiest thing it will become easy once you start practicing. It will become very easy once you start going through it again, once you practice it again and again, and that is what is going to help you. So friends, these were the top four techniques that you can use. Just express your gratitude. That helps you a lot. Declutter your mind by answering those three important questions, www. Then make sure you take up a task versus time. Instead of giving yourself 2 hours, I'm going to do this, you're going to say, I will do this and then do something else. And take no action on distractions. Show a rejection board to distractive thoughts. Say no to them. If your mind says, I'll play this game for 5 minutes and then do my studies, it does not happen. That 5 minutes can go to 30 minutes and you have no control over it later on. But you have a control. You have the power to say no to distractive thoughts. You have the extreme power to say no to distractive thoughts. Now I have made the pitch ready. When you play cricket, you have a pitch ready, right? Unless the pitch is ready, batsmen, players, they don't go to play, nor any toss also happens. Now I have made my pitch ready, and now is the time that I am going to focus, right? Now, what does focus mean? How do I start focusing? Okay, we'll go through that now. Suppose if I start focusing on what's wrong, like how we did, what went well, what went wrong and all. In that, if I start focusing only on what went wrong, what will happen? That will induce a lot of stress. It will induce anxiety within me. Oh, I should have done something for that. I didn't do anything, You'll start feeling incomplete. So where should your focus be on? Make a shift towards positivity and see what works. And once I shift my focus towards there, then again, you will start, this is the time when you will start living your dream. When you start beginning, now the pitch is ready, the batsman is ready, and now you're ready to hit your big shots. You're ready to hit your sixers. Now, psychology says, the first 20 minutes of what you're, after doing all these, using all these techniques, the first 22 minutes are highly productive. So whatever you take a task in these first 22 minutes, I call it as prime time. This is the time when you can start something new for the day, what you have to study. And this prime time lasts for 22 minutes. And in the next 8 to 10 minutes is something that you can revise, and that is when you take a break of 5 minutes, and then again